Hollowell comes set. 1-2. Just a bit high for ball 2. Whole crowd wanted that one. I think the only fan that didn't have a problem with that pitch is that adorable yellow lab laying off to our left in the shade in general admission. He is enjoying himself a nice Friday summer nap. Hasn't opened his eyes since we got to the ballpark, and I don't blame him. Perfect day to hang out, either watch some baseball or take a nap. 2-2 on the way, just a bit inside. Doesn't catch the corner, and Stonecipher has worked the count full. Yes, a good at-bat from Stonecipher here. He's battled back from behind 1-2. Love to get a hit here, but even if you're the Zap, walk him, that forces an out at every base. Payoff pitch, curling pitch, in for strike 3. Another off-speed pitch retires the Casper Spuds. So a leadoff double for Caden Wilcox goes unused for the Casper Spuds. We head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. And as we mentioned, we got to catch up with coach, co-owner, and manager Jamie Habiger before the game. Here's what he had to say. Here with coach, co-owner, and manager Jamie Habiger down in the dugout. Beautiful day for baseball, and we got a good crowd filing in. First responders night. Before we get into X's and O's about baseball, I want to dive into the lineup a little bit. Who was your first responder for this Oahe Zap Ball Club?
You know, we call Austin Arocha, our fireman, out of the bullpen. He comes in and fills our much-needed innings. You know, back in the day when I was younger, the guy who had the most save was called the Fireman of the Year. He got the reliever of the year, the fireman. So he's kind of our putting out fires, come in and throw strikes. He's probably our first responder.
Absolutely love that. Another guy that's been playing on fire has been Gavin Frazier, especially at the plate. The batting average coming close to 400 right now. Awesome start to the season for him. How great is it to have him back in his Zap uniform this year?
Really great, man. He's battles. He has great quality at bats. Sees a lot of pitches. Wears a lot. You know, he started off last season like this. He came in a little gimpy with his ankle, but he is getting close to 100%, and it's showing off with the plate, man. He's a key part of why we're in a lot of these games.
Great to have him and a bunch of other returners like Ty Farwell and, of course, like A.J. Ponciano. Always got to give him love. But you've got some really talented new guys that have joined this organization this summer. And you and I were just talking off air about some of those names that have really showed up for you here early in this 2026 campaign.
Yeah, Mason Manning the other day threw a great 6 innings, 2 hits or something. I think the only run they had was a pass ball. So having that guy come out and start, that was his first outing. Mason Melton at third base or second base. He's hitting the heck out of the ball. Great defender. Cy Taylor, a shortstop, is a great shortstop out there. I had to give him a break the other night. I think he had 8 in a row. But who else we got? I mean, Landon Meyer, Dom DiCarlo, our center fielder. Great hitters, great defense. We're just going to start meshing together here. And another great return that we didn't mention was Quinn Lundviksen the other night, man, coming in with bases loaded and getting out of that jam and then shutting Spearfish down in the 9th. So can't forget about old Q over there. He's kind of forgotten on the mound, but, man, he's a heck of a player.
A true guy that can do it all, Quinn Ludvigsen, that's for sure. Can't wait to see him all again tonight, Coach. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Go Zap.
Big thanks to Jamie Habiger for spending some time with us down in the dugout before the game. And we mentioned a couple big names there, but Gavin Frazier, who's batting in the 2-hole after leadoff man Mason Melton, as we mentioned, hovering around 400 for his batting average to start the season in his 18 at-bats. And Jacob McMahon looking for a good outing today. 8.10 ERA for McMahon here this season as Mason Melton takes a fastball outside for ball 1. McMahon out of Nelson University. Tall, lanky right-hander wears the number 21. Got the pants pulled up to the knees today as he misses outside for ball 2. And as Chuck and Cortana start to learn, we're going to open up this window here right in front of our booth in case we get a foul ball. Now, we only got one foul ball last year that actually came into the window, and I did make the play as the 2-0 catches the outside corner for strike 1. And our broadcaster last year, Dylan Beach, who I'm sure is tuned in, loves the Zap. Be on some games this year, it sounds like, as this one gets away from the catcher. And back to the backstop. Stonecipher not in any hurry to get that one on a hot day and nobody on base. As we mentioned, the Casper Spuds in their black tops, gray bottoms, and purple socks with the black caps. It's about as heat attracting of a uniform as you can assemble. Here's a 3-1. This one rifled up the middle, and Mason Melton leads us off with a base hit. That's his 8th hit of the season and his 7th single of the year. Yeah, good celebration there. And that's exactly what the Zap want to see, is an early offense. Get runners on. You know, this is a league where you see a ton of runs scored in a lot of these games, and if you can get to McMahon early, kind of shake his confidence, you really like your chances. And now he's got to face the hottest hitter, maybe in the ILB, and Gavin Frazier. Officially a .389 batting average. He's driven in 7 this year, scored 5 times. And he takes a perfectly placed fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Frazier, another returning guy. Big cast of characters that have come back to Pier for one more summer. Frazier takes another perfectly placed fastball for strike 2. Frazier out of University of Pikeville, getting on base over half the times that he's stepped into the batter's box. The right-hander awaits, and the right-hander delivers. This one will get away from Stone Cipher again. This time there's a runner on. Mason Melton rounding second. Takes a peek back and claims his base right there in the middle of the diamond. So a pass ball will get Mason Melton to second. Nobody out here, and a 1-2 count to Gavin Frazier. And Stone Cipher is going to go talk to McMahon. And this is probably just a little bit of housekeeping, making sure you know what you're going to do with the baseball should that runner try to dance around at second, maybe take third. Gavin Frazier, right-handed hitter, is kind of working as a blocker if Melton wants to try to steal that bag. 1-2 count. Stone Cipher giving the signals. Now we got a timeout as our home plate umpire, Bill Hall, cleans out the face mask there. Got to make sure, you know, the umpires too. Corey Monroe out in the field and Bill Hall behind the plate. They're not in the coolest jerseys either. They got the dark grays on with the even darker gray pants. As the 1-2 is right into the back of Gavin Frazier. He's hit by yet another pitch, and he will happily take it. Well, maybe not happily, as he fires the bat over towards the dugout. I think Gavin Frazier, who is a ball magnet in 2025, is tired of playing that same role again here in 2026. You heard Jamie Habiger mention it there. He wears it a lot, and he just wore another one. But that'll put another duck on the pond. Runners on first and second here for the Zap, and Ty Farwell coming up to the plate. You want to talk about an important guy for this Zap team, that's Ty Farwell. DHing today, spends a lot of time behind home plate. And he just about wears one on the right armpit, but that is in there for a strike. That is at least the 4th time this season that Gavin Frazier has worn a pitch. It might be number 5. Not sure if the stats have updated yet, but it's a frequent occurrence. We'll just say it's number 5 because, well, we're probably going to get there anyway, as Farwell sharply fouls one over towards the Zap dugout. Yeah, and Frazier, you know, he's a defensive hitter. He likes to get up on the plate, kind of stand near the inner line of that batter's box towards the river. But that one, he could have been on the outer skirts, and it still probably would have hit him. Yeah, that one was right in the middle of the back. This one outside for Farwell. He tells everybody to stay put. Counts 1-2. And the thing here for Jacob McMahon, he's been getting ahead in some of these counts, but a base hit by Mason Melton, a hit by pitch on a 1-2 count to Gavin Frazier. We'll see what Ty Farwell can do with this 1-2 count himself. McMahon with a second look back at second, swing and a miss on a breaking ball for strike 3. So he pulled the string and got the strikeout. Ty Farwell will make his way back, and making his way in is Connor Goldberg. Connor Goldberg with a golden opportunity here to drive in his first runs of the season. 200 hitter. Goldberg assumes the position in the right-handed batter's box. Zap looking to get on the board here first. Get a strong start to this series. First pitch is perfectly laced right there on the inside corner for strike one. Casper Spuds manager Cody McCrary over there at the far end of the third base dugout directing traffic with his shortstop, Caden Wilcox. Those two have a great working relationship together. Here's the 0-1. That one catches a piece of the outside corner for strike two. So McMahon trying to work out of a jam here in the bottom of the first. Pierce Hollowell worked out of one in the top of the first after a Caden Wilcox double. Wilcox stayed there for the remainder of the inning. Spuds couldn't move him around. Here's the 0-2, and Goldberg off the end of the bat finds the hole on the right side. Rounding third and heading for home is Melton. Throw coming to third base. It's going to be in there, not in time as it skirts away from Hunter Billingsley. So Mason Melton scores from second. Gavin Frazier moves from first to third. The throw from right field came from Noah Bufford to third base. And it looked like if Hunter Billingsley was going to be able to secure that throw, he would have had Gavin Frazier out. Field umpire Corey Monroe was ready to ring him up with the right arm, but the ball just squirts away from Billingsley. And now the Zapper on the board, leading 1-0, have runners on second and third. And bring back, as Jamie Habiger said, one of the most important pieces of this lineup, Quinn Ludvigsen. That was just a seeing eye single there from Connor Goldberg, as the first pitch into Ludvigsen is high for ball one. Goldberg with his first RBI of the year. Makes it 1-0 Zap here, bottom first. Ludvigsen takes a strike. Yeah, it looked like to Goldberg that was a fastball in on the hands, and he just was able to get enough of the barrel through to get it the opposite direction. Right-handed hitter hitting at first base side, and he was able to sneak it between Carter and Denton over there. And that's how the Zap need to start these ball games as they try to climb back in the first half of this season. Ludvigsen takes outside for ball two. Yeah, Chuck, that was the recipe last year. It was a slow start to the season in 2025, but his team found some confidence and rolled through the second half and rolled right into the championship series. 2-1, Ludvigsen sends it a mile high over towards first base. Brody Carter going to call off his first baseman, David Denton. And he'll make the play for the second out. So McMahon, while he has given up one run, if he can retire Garen Gledhill, another hot-hitting Zap bat in this lineup, then I think all things considered, that would be a successful start to this ball game for McMahon. Gledhill will step into the left-handed batter's box, another Zap hitter that's been finding his way around the bases. 4 singles, a double, and a triple on the year. McMahon deals, delivers this one. Our first foul ball into Capitol Ave. Good work by our sound crew over there. Timed up the breaking glass sound effect right as that ball was coming down out in Capitol Ave. You couldn't have timed that one up any better. Gledhill with an open stance. The left-hander's got his right foot at a 45-degree angle with his back foot as this one misses high. Goldberg at second. Gavin Frazier over at third. 2 outs, 1-1 count. Zap get the opening run of this ball game. Looking for some more here. And this one is rifled to third, but right to a waiting Hunter Billingsley. Couldn't have hit it any harder if he tried, but the Zap, they do strike first. They lead 1-0 here after one. We'll be back with the top half of the second inning coming up after this. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7 and streaming live on the Oahe Zap YouTube and drgnews.com.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades. Bush Hog tillage equipment, including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, And Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized, goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC.
A little bit of Simon Says for our younger Zap fans out on the field before we get the top half of the second inning underway. Hello, everybody. Justin Cowart, Chuck Young alongside Cortana Mancuso here on a Friday afternoon at Hyde Stadium. Zap leading 1-0 after they're able to put some runners on base and move them around. It was a Connor Goldberg single that drove in the lone run of this ball game. And it is starting to fill out here at Hyde. As we mentioned, 85 degrees at first pitch, barely a breeze, which I think all things considered, especially with the way the weekend looks, that's a pretty comfortable Friday evening here in Pierce, South Dakota. Zap looking to pick up win number 3. Win number 2 against the Casper Spuds this season. A win for Casper will put them above 500. And Pierce Hollowell, who got himself out of a jam in the first inning, reclaims his spot on the mound. Yeah, looking ahead at this weekend, it's going to be a hot one Saturday, high of 92, high of 91 on Sunday, but some breezes to help cool that off a little bit. And, of course, big weekend over in Fort Pierre. 32nd annual Casey Tibbs Match of Champions over at the Stanley County Fairgrounds. Looking forward to that. 1-0 lead here for the Zap. Here on First Responders Night, here in the break, we'll get into the rest of what the month of June has to hold for theme nights as the first pitch is swung on and missed. Big cut there from David Denton. And by the reaction of the crowd, I have to imagine this is tonight's beer batter. First baseman David Denton, big young man. He's got a jittery approach in the right-hand batter's box. And he sticks his elbow out and he wears that pitch. And they're going to tell him to come right back. I think that's a great call by home plate umpire Bill Hall. They're going to say on that hit by pitch that Denton just ever so slightly stuck out the left arm guard, which you can't do. And now manager Cody McCrary wants an explanation on that one. And you got to give it to David Denton. He's doing his best to get on base. But a great call by home plate umpire Bill Hall as he just kind of leaned into that pitch and it just grazed the elbow pad, which does protrude off the elbow, creating some extra surface area. But Bill Hall's been around a time or two, and he doesn't miss that. So we'll see if Hollowell can put him away. The pitch. And maybe trying to get even with Cody McCrary there. That pitch looked pretty good, but it's called a ball. Just north of the zone, says Bill Hall. I think we're all square here, boys. Hollowell comes set again. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Bounces into the chest of Garrett Gledhill. He palms it off the chest protector and tags out a scurrying David Denton for the first out of the inning. That Pierce Hollowell off-speed pitch is pretty devastating. Starts with a lot of the zone, and then the bottom just falls out. You really got to tip your cap to Gledhill there for being able to block that one, palm it all on one motion, and tag out the batter. Brings up right fielder Noah Bufford, and he kind of clocks one off the thin of the bat. Played on one hop by Ludvigsen. Toss on the fly to his pitcher Hollowell, and it's a tie at first base. And Bufford is in there safely. Now, Richard Gilmore taught me a year ago at a umpire's biggest pain, and now Jamie Habiger wants to have a conversation. So all the managers and coaches are going to get to know our umpires today here in the top of the second inning. But back to Richard Gilmore. Always love a chance to talk about him. He told us there is no such thing as a tie goes to the runner. He said the ball has to beat the runner to the bag, has to be within the break of the glove before the runner steps on first. It's not a tie goes to the runner. If that throw's not there before the runner steps on the bag, he is safe. And Bufford showing off the wheels is there safely. I'll check on Bufford quickly over at first. He's back diving in. Got the hand guard, a red one on the right hand. It's the oven mitt that these base runners use to protect their fingers. Hollowell's first pitch is chopped foul over towards the Spuds dugout. They didn't even flinch. It's Westmoreland in the batter's box here for the Spuds. That oven mitt on the hand that you see those base runners wear, yes, it does serve a couple different purposes. Its main purpose is to not get the fingers jammed up when sliding into first base or into second or third, wherever they're sliding into a bag that's popping out of the ground. Another pickoff attempt is late into first. But that oven mitt has got a bar of metal on the bottom where the fingers and palm meet. As this pitch is in there for a called strike, makes count 0-2. So that when you slide into the bag, it's not the fingers meeting the bag first, it's actually that curved metal piece that goes around the front of the fingers. Another purpose it serves is if a ball comes flying over, hits you on the hand, at least you got a little bit of cushion there. Peeking over his right shoulder as Bufford takes off. 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, and we might have interference here. And they're going to call the runner out. The throw was not in time, but the batter got in the way of the throw, so it's a strike him out, throw him out on a little bit of a technicality. Mason Westmoreland could not get out of the way after he swung and missed at the 0-2 pitch, and the throw from Gledhill took him right into the back of Westmoreland, and although Bufford beat the throw, he'll be called out for interference. So that's the way the top of the second inning ends. I told you, you're going to see some stuff you don't normally see at the ballpark when you show up here at Hyde Stadium. As we mentioned, folks, it is First Responders Night at the ballpark, and Zap have done a great job of putting together some great theme nights throughout the season. And I can't wait to fill you in on what we've got coming up in June, as I finally found the theme nights for the Oahe Zap. Tonight, of course, as we said, First Responders Appreciation. Can't thank all of our first responders enough. Trooper Dan Saar, it was Trooper Patrick Barnes to throw out the first pitch, and did so beautifully in his full trooper uniform. And Dan Saar quickly and efficiently sang our national anthem tonight, and right on cue, they thank our first responders with a round of applause. And then tomorrow night, it's Dress Your Decade Day, as the Zap and Spuds will clash again. And that will be another 6:05 first pitch. Sunday is Family Day and Bark at the Park. That's a 5:05 start against Casper. So bring your dogs by. They can enjoy a nap like our buddy, who is actually up and moving around. If you're just joining us, we got a gorgeous yellow lab who's attending the ball game, and he was enjoying a nap, but I think all the commotion from the end of that second inning might have got him up and moving around. I'm sure he'll be here on Sunday for Bark at the Park. After that, the Zap will be back for a 2-game series after going on the road for 2 against Spearfish. They'll be taking on the Aviators, and it'll be Women's Wednesday on the 10th. And one of our favorite nights here at the ballpark on June 11th, a Thursday night Wildcat night, with our Special Olympics South Dakota Pier Wildcats. Zap leading 1-0 here after 1.5. We head to the bottom of the second, as the Zap will send up 7, 8, 9. Dom DiCarlo, the center fielder, steps in. DiCarlo climbs into the right-handed batter's box. Jacob McMahon back on the mound for the Spuds. First pitch to DiCarlo is off the plate for ball 1. DiCarlo has got some wheels out in center, as does the Spuds center fielder himself, Elijah Reeves. Those two guys can track just about anything down that comes their way, and it really doesn't even have to be coming their way regardless. And right on cue, he sends one out to center field. Elijah Reeves trying to play it on a hop, and it gets by him and rolls to the warning track. DiCarlo rounding second, heading for third. Noah Bufford finally able to get to it. And the announcer's jinx comes back to bite. Elijah Reeves in center. I'm sure that'll be scored an error. It was going to be a hit regardless. Bufford, though, with the wheels, couldn't get to that softly floating baseball that was bounding towards him. It bounced about 8 feet in front of him, and it kind of caught him and handcuffed him awkwardly on the bounce. Yeah, it's such a tough play for your center fielder to make when you're running on full steam. You're halfway thinking you can make the catch, and then Reeves had to slow down because he realized he wasn't going to be able to get to it in time. Took a bad bounce towards the belt. Now the Zap have a runner on third. So that'll bring up right fielder Landon Meyer, the big lefty. After a tough bounce, puts Dom DiCarlo at third base. There's the 1-0. That one misses just a bit high. Couple clouds hanging over Hyde Stadium here this afternoon. Nothing ominous, as we've seen the past couple days here in Pierre. This one swung on, fouled back into the netting behind home plate. Landon Meyer's had a pretty interesting season for the Oahe Zap at the plate. He's hitting 154, but he's got a couple hits on the year. Driven in 5 runs. He scored 2 himself, as the count works even 2-2. Got a great first responder shirt down below. It's got the backs of a firefighter, a police officer, an EMT, and a surgeon. As Meyer ropes this one into right, Bufford trying to fake out Dom DiCarlo. That one's going to bounce in front of Bufford. DiCarlo wasn't buying it for a second. Didn't deke the runner, and DiCarlo comes in to make it 2-0 Zap. 4th hit of the ball game. And timely hitting there for Landon Meyer. 2 great pieces of hitting here for the Zap in this second inning. Dom DiCarlo, you said softly, but it was pretty well hit. No, you're right there. And he got that one to get down, and then this out to Bufford, landing right in front of him, makes it 2-0. And another hot shot to first base. David Denton couldn't squeeze it. That'll get out to Bufford, rounding second and heading for third as Landon Meyer. Everybody's safe. And I think David Denton's going to have to check his webbing to make sure that ball didn't break his glove. An absolute frozen rope over there at the Spuds first baseman. He got leather on it, but that would have easily been our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight had he been able to trap that one in. You can still see the steam coming off of that baseball. So that'll bring up shortstop Cy Taylor. Top of the inning coming up. Actually, we're already back at the top of the lineup. Forgive me, Mason Melton at the plate, and Cy Taylor with that strong rip. This one bounces. Stonecipher somehow is able to block that one. It will allow Taylor to scamper down to second. So give Cy Taylor the sharp shot. Landon Meyer standing at third. Taylor at second. Melton in the batter's box. Two nothing Zap here in the second. And this one grounded towards the second base side. Brody Carter gloves and fires. That'll score a run. It'll be the first out of the inning, but the Zap will happily trade a run for an out. Makes it 3-0 with a 2-spot hung here in the second inning. Gavin Frazier coming up as Mason Melton continues on his good start this season. Picks up his 6th RBI of the year. Some of these new guys for the Oahe Zap really starting to take shape. Gavin Frazier takes the ball low. 1-0 count, 1 out. Runner on third. Zap at the plate. McMahon delivers and puts a strike on the inside corner. So that'll go down for Mason Melton as a fielder's choice. It will be an RBI. As this one's roped into right field, curling towards the line. Barely dropping foul. 3 extra bases on his mind. Can't blame the breeze on that one. We really don't have much today. They've been wearing out the right side of that infield and outfield for that matter. Yeah, they have been. The Cy Taylor sharp shot over at Denton. Landon Meyer dropping it in front of Bufford over here in this inning. It's been good to see for the Zap. High fastball swung on, somehow got to by Gavin Frazier. Not sure how he was able to get the barrel around on that one. That was way up in the zone. Even when they're out of the zone, this guy Frazier's making good contact. Count is 1-2, 1 out. Here it is to Frazier. He grounds this one to the left side. That's a seeing eye single past Hunter Billingsley. Another run will score, and it's 4-0 Zap. Everything getting through for the Zap here this afternoon. And Cy Taylor gets high fives as he scores the third run of this inning for the Oahe Zap. Yeah, perfectly placed shot there from Frazier as he just kind of squibbled it to the left side. Billingsley, who wasn't really shading the third base line all that much, made a valiant effort, but again, you just can't beat perfectly placed hits like that. So we'll see if Farwell can keep the carousel going. He fouls off the first pitch he sees. Frazier continuing his dominance at the plate. Continuing to pile on hits. He's only struck out 3 times this season for the Zap. He's been doing a lot of what he just did. Getting the ball out into the open spots of the field and bringing in runs. That's his 8th RBI of the season as Farwell takes a fastball high. Fans seem to be enjoying themselves, enjoying the great concession stand food that's been revamped this year. As Farwell visits Capitol Avenue with a foul ball over the third base dugout. Hard to beat what they had last year, but you put Carla Miles behind the driver's side of things, and well, you're going to have yourself some good food. And the fans are certainly enjoying it. They're also enjoying the new Zap Summer Shandy. New to the ballpark this year. Runner going. Frazier taking off for second. Hit and run was on. Farwell was able to get the pizza paddle out there and slap that one away. He's kind of gracefully laid the bat across the right-handed batter's box from the left-handed batter's box side. That's the rule. When you got a hit and run on, you better swing. Farwell did just that. 1-2 count. Frazier with a short lead off of first. Not running this time. Farwell takes and turns and gets strike 3 called. He didn't like it. He thought he was about to get plunked by that pitch, but instead, Farwell goes down for the second time today. That'll be the second out of the inning. Connor Goldberg, who got the first inning offense started. He singled and drove in the first run of this ball game to make it 1-0. Zap have scored 3 here in the bottom of the second to make it 4-0. And this is a lead that Pierce Hollowell can gladly work with. McMahon comes set as this one is called strike 1. Hollowell waiting to come out for the top of the third. McMahon working here for Casper in the bottom of the second. Comes set. No peek over at Frazier. That one down and away for ball 2. Yeah, and I think Hollowell is kind of, McMahon is kind of resigned to the fact that that runner now on first doesn't matter. I got to go with this guy in the box. I got to get myself out of this inning, get my offense back to the plate. 1-1 gets by Stonecipher, uncharacteristic miss, and now the Zap have moved another runner into scoring position. Frazier trots down to second. Stonecipher has been a stone wall back there thus far in this ball game. Lets that one get away. So now the count is 2-1. They'll peek back at Frazier at second this time around and deliver. That one catches a piece, strike two. Big gap out in left center for Connor Goldberg if he wants to try to exploit it. They're playing him pretty tight up the middle, too. So he's got space to work. 2-2 pitch is sent to the right side. Brody Carter moves to his left, fields it, fires it, and that'll retire the side. But the Zap pick up 3 and make the score 4-0. They're out in front as we head to the third. Zap have 4 runs on 6 hits. Casper still looking to get on the scoreboard. No runs. 1 hit for the Spuds. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7. We're also streaming live on drgnews.com and the Oahe Zap YouTube.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierce, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Not so easy, is it, boys? First Responders Appreciation Night. We got a couple fans out there trying to coil some hose. And I'll tell you what, our first responders sure make that look a lot easier than those 3 guys just did. But props to them, not for coiling the hoses properly, but for throwing on those mini firefighter hats. They've got them on backwards, I'm afraid, but you know what? It's the thought that counts. Justin Coward alongside Chuck Young and Cortana Mancuso here tonight. 4-0 Zap lead after 2. Here's Hollowell, who's been great after he gave up a leadoff double to Caden Wilcox. Has not surrendered a hit or a base runner since then. He's retired 6 straight. And the Casper Spuds will bring it up 8-9-1. Hollowell gets the ball back from his infield. Great day of baseball here at Hyde Stadium. Could be a lot warmer, that's for sure. Cortana is learning the camera cut quality. She's a film major. That's what she's going to be when she gets to college, which we hope never happens because Cortana, as Hollowell misses on the inside corner for ball 1, is a board op for us on River 92.7 during the football, basketball, and volleyball seasons. But she knows what looks good, so she's working the cameras well over there. Hollowell with the 1-0 pitch. That one just barely missing. I'm guessing inside. Hollowell's off-speed stuff does have a lot of break to it. Pitch is grounded sharply up the middle. Moving to his right is Frazier. Plays it on the third hop and fires to Ludvigsen at first for the first out of the inning. Yeah, you can't understate how good Gavin Frazier, really the middle infield as a whole has been. But Gavin at the plate, out in the field, just been such a stalwart for this team. And when you asked him, Jamie, in the pregame interview, who the first responder, I really thought he was going to say Gavin Frazier. He gave us a great answer with Austin Orocha and some good some good explanation behind it. Comes in, puts out fires. He didn't mention Quinn Ludvigsen came in a couple days ago, as this first pitch is in there for strike one to Elijah Reeves. And he put some good explanation in, and Quinn came in, put out a fire the other night, had bases loaded, towed the rubber, and got out of the jam for the Zap. It does it all. This one popped out to left. Connor Goldberg staring up into that Pierce sky will make the grab for out number 2. And Pierce Hollowell continuing to work efficiently here on a Friday night. Yeah, it's almost as if he gave up that first double to Wilcox into the right center gap and just said, okay, I've given up my hit now. I'm shaking it off. I'm ready to go. Yeah, he's been outstanding. You're working. That's the only hit he's surrendered here today, and he's facing off with Wilcox again, looking for a little bit of revenge. He starts him with a fastball in the outside corner for strike number 1. Hollowell with a 2.63 RA. And that's dropping here this afternoon if he can keep this up. This one bounces in the left-handed batter's box for ball 1. Zap with the white tops, the white bottoms, and the blue caps, the baby blues. Hollowell delivers the 1-1. That misses down and away. I saw the Casper Spuds team bus today. Saw them loading up about 3 o'clock. Just happened to be in the same area. Had to go over across the bridge and visit our friends over at the pharmacy over there. Here's the 2-1. Check swing. Did he go? They check down at first, and our field umpire says yes, he did. Corey Monroe calls it strike from his post back behind first base, and now Pierce Hollowell has worked the count full. Excuse me, worked the count even at 2-2 with 2 outs. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with the curveball, and Hollowell is dealing. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Zap leading 4-0. And we'll keep it right here. Look ahead at the upcoming schedule. Talked about it a little bit. And I'll finish my story about the Casper Spuds team bus when I get the chance there, too. But as we mentioned, after they wrap up this series on Sunday with the Spuds, they'll be on the road for 2 against Spearfish. Seeing them again quickly. As Shock is trying to catch the potato down here in between innings. Great marketing, folks. The potato has been caught by Shock, the Zap mascot there. It's a 7 games and 7 days stretch for the Zap. They got 3 with Casper here at home. On the road against Spearfish for 2, then back home against the Aviators next Wednesday and Thursday for 2. Those 2 home game starts at 6:05. Then they'll get about a week off, which is welcome this time of year. Casper would kill for one of those. They are on one of the longest stretches we've seen. They played their first game after their day off on the 1st of June, on June 2nd, lost to Fort Collins 11-0. And they beat the Foxes on the 3rd, 15-5, lost on the 4th, 10-3. They won't have another off day until June 22nd. So about a 19, 20-day span of games for the Casper Spuds. Coming at an important time in this season, too. After that week off, they'll be back for 2. Will the Oahe Zap in Spearfish taking on the Sasquatch. And the Sasquatch will turn around and come back to Hyde Stadium for 2 more. That 4-day series with 2 on the road and 2 away will be June 18th through the 21st. And they'll have a 4-game series with the Zap, or will the Zap here at home with the Aviators, and then to close out the month of June, a 4-game series with the Spearfish Sasquatch. So you're going to get familiar with these teams, that's for sure. Quinn Ludvigsen back in the left-handed batter's box for the bottom of the 3rd inning here. Zap leading 4-0. 6 hits, 4 runs for the Zap. 1 hit, nobody has scored for the Spuds. Jacob McMahon back out on the mound for Casper, trying to give his bullpen some longevity here, and he misses high and away with a fastball for ball 1. Yeah, McMahon has giving up some contact, and these shots are just finding open parts of the field for Oahe. Exactly what you ask for, as Ludvigsen rips this one into right. Bufford on his horse, back to the warning track, and he makes the play. As Ludvigsen just got a little bit too much on top of that one. If he had found a little bit more height, even without the breeze, I think the strength of Ludvigsen would have poked that one out. But as you mentioned, Chuck, some great contact there from the Zap first baseman. Yeah, and that's really what it's about. You just want to be hitting these balls, and if they happen to find an open spot in the field, great. If not, well, you put a good swing on it. As Gledhill goes down and golfs this one out to right center, that's going to drop in front of a covering Elijah Reeves. And the Zap just continuing to drop in hits left and right. Really impressive swing there, too, for Gledhill. He went down and essentially picked that one off the dirt in front of home plate. So the Zap have a runner on first. Seventh hit of the ball game belongs to Garen Gledhill. And that'll bring up Dom DiCarlo. DiCarlo puts a charge into one. This one high into shallow center. Reeves calling everybody off. We'll make the catch for out number two. A lot of bats cracking here in the bottom of the third inning for the Zap. Landon Meyer, who had the RBI single in the second inning to get the party started for the Zap, will step in. Landon Meyer, a guy who's had his praises sung by Jamie Habiger. Only hitting 154 on the season, but this is a guy that is not going to be held down for long. He's been productive, even with a less than stellar batting average, as this one misses down and away. He's driven in 5, scored twice. He's one of the few Zap hitters that has a triple on the season. The only other Zap to reach third, a play that wasn't an error, as this one's fouled away to the left side, was the guy who just got on base, Aaron Gledhill. Oh, 2 count, 2 outs. Runner on first for the Zap. Just a great vibe at the ballpark here today. Here's the pitch. This one high and away. Never had a chance to offer on that one. You just can't get much better than this. Pretty packed out crowd, kids running around, games being played. Couple folks down at VIP this afternoon. Got some dogs at the ballpark. Perfect weather. And a Zap 4-0 lead. But this will be the end of the bottom of the third inning, as this one's grounded to the right side, and they'll retire Landon Meyer, scoring at 4-3. 4-0 is our score on our scoreboard. Zap lead as we head to the top of the fourth inning. We'll be back after this short break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7, and we're streaming live on drgnews.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, the private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades, Bush Hog tillage equipment including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Well, we got to see Darren Boyle out on Capitol Avenue before the game. Big thanks to Darren Boyle, one of our great sponsors. Got a few great sponsors we want to shout out. Our friends over at Dunes Golf. Of course, Darren Boyle. Our friends from the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital area, Rounds Financial Services, and Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial. And, of course, our friends at Family Dental. 4-0 Zap lead here as they do the YMCA. Lively crowd here on a Friday afternoon, and why wouldn't they be? Mid-80s, sun is out, nice little breeze, and a perfect day for baseball, and the home team is winning. That's always a recipe for excitement, especially when you got your starter Pierce Hollowell pitching like he's been.
Yeah, Hollowell, the righty, has been outstanding here today for Oahe. As we mentioned earlier in that last inning, just gave up the opening single to Wilcox to put a really good charge into it. But after that, he's just been fantastic.
Spuds will go 2-3-4 here in the top of the fourth. Cal Cousins going to lead us off here. Hollowell coming set, works out of the stretch, whether there's runners on or like he's got it here as he delivers a first pitch strike. Just kind of decides to operate out of the stretch. And we see that out of a couple of Zap pitchers. Some guys go out on the windup with nobody on, as this one's fanned over top up for strike two. Not often you see a guy work out of the stretch with nobody on, but I'll tell you what, like we said, you see something you don't often see as this one's fouled back into the net. A good cut there from Cousins to stay alive. 0-2 count, nobody on, nobody out. Taylor's lost his glove over there at short. Now he's got it back on. Hollowell trying to retire Cousins, somehow fists this one foul. I think Cousins was more just trying to get out of the way than anything, and his bat happened to get in the way, and he's able to stay alive. And that had so much side spin on it when it hit the dirt, it actually went backwards. It looked like a Tiger Woods chip shot from the early 2000s, just zipping back. 0-2 pitch from Hollowell. Just misses the outside corner. They wanted that one. Umpiring crew has been really good today. Corey Monroe and Bill Hall been on top of it. That one's on top of the zone for ball two. Bill Hall behind the plate. Corey Monroe over behind first base. These two guys were actually in Casper for their last series. They both hail from Colorado Springs. 2-2, strike three as Cousins goes down looking. Hollowell was fishing for that outside corner, and he finally got a bite out of Bill Hall. That'll be the, how many strikeouts is that today? Fourth strikeout for Hollowell by my count. First out of the inning, and that'll bring up Hunter Billingsley, the Spuds' hot corner defender. Billingsley is built out, man. This guy is burly. Here's the first pitch, and he nearly wears it on the right shoulder. Big stocky left-hander, big lower half, can really put some power into the baseball. These Spuds hitters, besides Caden Wilcox, just have not been able to get to Pierce Hollowell. 1-0 pitch. This is outside for ball two. Billingsley has had quite the season. 15 ABs and is hitting near 500. 467 to be exact. He's got 5 singles and 2 doubles in his 7 hits this year. As this one misses away, and you can now understand why Hollowell may be being a little cautious around the Spuds lefty. 7 runs driven in. 13 runs to his name for Billingsley. Hollowell going to try to fight back in this count. 3-0 pitch, catches a piece for strike one. The Zap defense on the right side of the field certainly has Billingsley shaded for power. Quinn Ludvigsen hugging up on that first base line. Landon Meyer out and right is in Ludvigsen's shadow there. 3-1, make it 3-2. Another good placement of a fastball. Gets our count full.
And maybe Hollowell trying to lull him to sleep a little bit, then going at him with the fastball. I like this sequence. Well, we'll see if he can retire him here. Here's the payoff pitch from Hollowell. In the dirt, good take there from Billingsley. And for the first time since the first inning, Spuds have a base runner. So Billingsley will earn the walk. That'll bring up our cleanup hitter and our catcher for the Casper Spuds, Hunter Stonecipher. And another fun thing that our PA announcer's booth over off to our right does is, well, give each of our visiting hitters a custom walk-up song. First pitch to Stonecipher, fouled off the end of the bat, squirts back to the backstop. And I'll have to check with Cortana. She's more in tune with the pop music. Was that Hannah Montana that was just played over the loudspeaker, Cortana? Is that what that was? It was something in that genre. Not exactly the grizzly walk-up song that a big lefty would normally have in his own ballpark, as this one misses high and away for ball one. Runner on first here for Casper in the top of the fourth. They'll check on him. He's back diving safely as Billingsley gets the jersey dirty for the first time today. The Casper Spuds have a pretty retro color scheme going. They've got the teal and the purple. Swung on and missed as string was pulled on that one by Hollowell. Way out in front of it was Stonecipher. And it gives you the feel of those old styrofoam cups, the purple and teal ones. And only the folks that know what I'm talking about really know what I'm talking about. As Cody McCrary's going to pull Stonecipher down to have a quick chat. So Stonecipher will make his way to his manager and his third base coach. And a passionate conversation comes to an end between coach and hitter. And they've got Spuds across the back of the pullovers, Casper across the chest of the jerseys, and the Spuds on the back of McCrary's pullover fade from teal to purple where you can't see the UDS of Spuds. 1-2 is lifted and belted to deep right, going on into the corner. Landon Meyer looking up, and that one is gone. That thing hung up there for a millennium. Landon Meyer was trying to track it into the corner, and the Casper Spuds, thanks to Hunter Stonecipher, on the board for the first time today. It's a two-run homer, and it makes the score 4-2. Good piece of hitting there from Stonecipher. Was behind in the count. Whatever Scott McCrary told him over there, Cody McCrary told him over there, certainly worked. So besides an opening triple, that's the only blemish of here's Hollowell's day. First pitch is in there for a strike from Hollowell. That thing off the bat of Stonecipher got up into the stratosphere. Credit Landon Meyer. Did his best to get to it. Now a check swing, and that one is going to be caught on the left arm of David Denton. And we'll see if they allow him to go down to first base this time around. They're going to say he swung on that. And now our umpires will get together and have a chat. So I think if anything, Bill Hall is going to ask Corey Monroe, did Denton go around on that swing? And the answer is yes. So it will be a 1-2 count. And this has just been kind of a comedic series of happenings. We've had a Casper Spud get called back to the batter's box earlier on in this ball game for sticking his left arm out and wearing a pitch. I believe that was Cal Cousins the first time around. And now David Denton, who took the pitch off the left arm, is called for the swing. Even if it hits you, if that bat goes around and breaks the plane, it is a strike. This one misses down and away. Count even at 2 apiece. Bases are cleared after that 2-run homer
from Hunter Stone-Cipher. 2-2 pitch from Hollowell. Just a bit outside, and it's ball 3. A good crowd on hand here for First Responders Appreciation Nights. Sure wanted that one. Didn't get it. And a correction, the count is now 2-2. Trying to keep up with all the back and forth. In there for strike 3 as he tried to spin out of the way of a perfectly placed pitch. David Denton goes down looking. And another K for Pierce Hollowell. Picks up the second out of the inning. So this will bring up the right fielder, Noah Bufford. And Hollowell just wants to get out of here with the 2-run damage and give it back to his offense, who has scored in 2 of the first 3 half frames. Bufford steps out briefly, steps back in as Hollowell adjusts himself. Got the hat straight, and a big swing and a miss from Bufford for strike 1. I imagine Bufford's got to be warm on days like today. He's got a set of great-looking dreadlocks coming out of the back of the helmet, but I can imagine that traps in some heat. 0-1 pitch, turns 1-1 as it's bounced into the glove of Garen Gledhill. Hollowell, an efficient pitcher, doesn't take much time away from the rubber. Bufford, an efficient hitter, doesn't even leave the box. 1-1, missed in the same spot as ball 1, makes it 2-1. I started to mention I saw that Casper Spuds team bus around 3 o'clock. They were leaving the hotel right on time. Had to go over to Fort Pierre. And for those of you that don't know, Fort Pierre is the wrong direction from Hyde Stadium. There's the 2-1 to Bufford. This one lifted out to left field. Connor Goldberg drifting back, looking up, squeezes the 3rd out of the inning. And I'm going to get this Casper Spud story in one way or the other. I was coming back from Fort Pierre this afternoon, and the team bus was coming my direction. I couldn't figure out where they were going, so I'm glad to see they made it to the ballpark today, even after heading the wrong direction this afternoon. As we end the first half of the 4th inning, Casper Spuds slice into this lead. A 2-run homer by Hunter Stone-Cipher makes it 4-2. And Jacob McMahon will come back out on the mound for the Casper Spuds. Now, we did mention the rest of the June schedule for the Oahe Zap, but they got plenty of more fan theme nights coming up in the month of June. Where we left off was Wildcat Night on June 11th. We'll be here for that one. Wouldn't miss Wildcat Night, that's for sure. And a break in theme nights for 9 days until June 20th. It's Cowboy Rodeo Night. And you know I'll be here in my cowboy hat. June 21st, it's Farmers and Ag Night. That's also the Father's Day theme night. June 21st is when the Sasquatch will be in town. June 25th will be Sanford Night. Following night will be CCBA Night. And then everybody's favorite theme night, Chislik Night, will be June 27th. For the final theme night of the month, we'll see Host Family Night and Tailgate Night. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of folks that make this Zap organization run and the wheels turn on this thing, but none more important than the host families. They take in players and interns each and every summer, give them a roof over their head, a bed to sleep in, facilities to use, food to eat. And you see some of these players, and boy, a lot of these guys can put away some groceries. So the host families are an integral part of what's going on here at Hyde Stadium with the Oahe Zap every summer. Can't thank them enough, and they'll get their own theme night, rightfully so, on June 28th. Back to the action. Cy Taylor will lead us off here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 9-1-2 due up here for the Zap, leading 4-2. Jacob McMahon fires in a first pitch strike. One thing you don't want to see is you don't want to see the Spuds settle in offensively and on the mound, as this one's almost worn by Taylor in there for ball 1. They might be settling in offensively. That Stone-Cipher 2-run homer, and then McMahon starting to look a little bit more comfortable on the mound. You want to try to keep putting runners on base and keep the pressure on it. BA microphone having some issues. Cy Taylor
pops one softly, bouncing towards the right side, fielded by Brody Carter, and he fires to first base for the first out of the inning. So Cy Taylor's retired after he slapped one on the opposite side of the field, and we're back to the top of the lineup. Mason Melton will bat second here. Some cracks and pops coming from the PA mic over off to our right. They got the walk-up music playing. They're battling through adversity over there. Big man set and delivers, and Melton will take ball one on the outside corner. And I don't know if Garen Gledhill is running up from the dugout to run back and get some more waters for the dugout, or he's a tech guy going to try to help out the PA mic. You can hear his cleats popping underneath us as this one's fouled into the netting for strike one. Tell you, these Zap are versatile. They do it all. Get the field ready for play. They put on a good show and might even help out with some technical difficulties. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one lined into right. Bufford backpedaling, turning and sticking his glove up for the second out of the inning. Well hit ball there by Melton, but Bufford was able to track it down. And the hot-hitting Gavin Frazier will try to stir up a little two-out magic here for the Zap in the bottom of the fourth. Frazier kind of in the heart of the line of the Zap here in 2026. Offense generated with the bat of Frazier. He'll face McMahon, and he'll take a first pitch ball on the inside corner. This Casper Spuds roster is about as full as it can get. You got about half the dugout hanging out on the ledge near the on-deck circle, and that's just out of pure necessity. There's just no room in the dugout left. This one misses high. Frazier will take ball two. It's always a dangerous spot to sit. Never like seeing anybody on these ledges. This one misses inside, and Frazier is ahead 3-0. Just never know when a sharp foul ball is going to come that direction. But the young ball boys are wearing helmets, and that's a good sign. Gavin Frazier works a 4-pitch walk as this one misses high and away. And Ty Farwell, who's been retired twice, will have a runner on first with two out. Farwell came up with a big hit in their last win against Spearfish, and we'll see if maybe he can drive a little energy into this Zap offense. They've had plenty of it here in the first 3 innings. Love to get something going here in the fourth. Yeah, 1 run in the first for the Zap, 3 in the second, nothing doing in the third. Farwell gives us that patented hip shimmy shake as he takes a first pitch strike. It's one of the first things I noticed about Ty Farwell last year was his pre-swing, pre-pitch routine. Kind of holds the bat like a lightsaber. Out in front of his face, takes a deep breath as this one misses outside for ball 1. You can visibly see the deep breath each and every time, and then after that exhale, he gives 2 little twists with the hips, reminding him to get his hips through, because we asked him about it last year, and he said, I just started doing it and never stopped. I think if my memory serves correct, as this one misses the outside corner for ball 2. I think he told us that he wasn't really aware he was doing it, and that it was just kind of a habit thing, something habitual that he picked up. Here's the 1-2, and this one is bombed. Deep to right field. Bufford's going to watch it fly, and Ty Farwell right on cue with a massive 2-run bomb. Extends the lead back to 4 for the Zap. That one was so well hit, it cleared the batter's cage in right field, and that is in somebody's gas tank out in the parking lot past the wall. Left no doubt about it. And Ty Farwell delivers our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight as he booms with his teammates in the on-deck circle. Yeah, and he's going to throw on the Zap jacket. He's got the Zap cane in his right hand. I'd be shocked if there wasn't a couple stitches missing off of that baseball. That was plastered.
So Ty Farwell, after the Gavin Frazier 4-pitch walk, sends a 2-run shot out to right, and the Zapper back in front, 6-2. They never were behind, but as we mentioned, you know, the Spuds started to feel like maybe they were settling in both aspects. Out on the mound, McMahon was starting to retire some batters, and the Spuds got their first runs, but all undone by a Ty Farwell moonshot. So just the second home run of the season for the Oahe Zap. And for Ty Farwell, he's got both of them. Absolute no doubter off the bat. You knew that one was gone if it would stay fair, as this one misses down and away. For ball 3 to Connor Goldberg. Missed a couple pitches there, and that's breaking the Cardinals' sin, but we're just still admiring that Ty Farwell shot. And Stone Cipher will go out and have a quick chat with his starting pitcher, Jacob McMahon. At the last minute, the left-handed Ty Farwell had a little bit of draw on that baseball. It was curving towards the foul pole, but it was hit with such tremendous force that it could have easily curved back behind the foul pole, but it was going to be well within fair territory by the time it went over the top of the wall. So both teams have hung a crooked number here in the 4th inning. 2 for the Spuds off a Stone Cipher home run, and that 2-run blast from Ty Farwell here in the bottom. 3-0 turns 3-1 as Goldberg did not have the green light on that 3-0 pitch. Three one, and this one is leathered out to right. Bufford's going to have a much easier time playing this one. He spins a couple times, gets his feet set, and squeezes the 3rd out. But Ty Farwell with the blast of the game, and the Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight. A 2-run shot makes it 6-2 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back with more Zap Baseball on River 92.7 as we cross the midway point of the ball game. 6-2 Zap lead.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
6-2 Zap lead, and we know that former Zap intern Eli Lewis enjoyed that Ty Farwell 2-run blast as he's tuned in. And you can tune in as well on the Oahe Zap YouTube, also streaming live on drgnews.com. Justin Coward alongside Chuck Young and Cortana Mancuso. And Eli Lewis was actually in the role that Cortana was in, or is in. I gotta say, Eli, you're getting run for your money here, buddy. Cortana's doing a pretty good job, and another guy doing a pretty good job is Pierce Hollowell, starting pitcher for the Oahe Zap, who's back out here for the top of the 5th. His only blemishes of the ball game came in the top of the 1st and in the top of the 4th. He gave up a leadoff double to Caden Wilcox and then left him stranded at 2nd. And then the 2-run homer there to Hunter Stone Cipher in the top of the 4th, but his bats have come to pick him up. It's been a big day of hitting for the Zap. 6 runs on 8 hits. As the Zap start to maybe find their groove. First pitch is grounded sharply. 1 pitch will lead to 1 out as Mason Melton fires across the diamond. And that's a good start there for Pierce Hollowell. Couldn't even get to the DH there. Mason Westmoreland, he's the first out of the inning. And it'll be 7-8-9. And now just 8-9 hopefully due up for Hollowell as He will face off with Spuds second baseman Brody Carter. One out here in the top of the fifth. This one popped back our direction. And that'll head over towards Hollister Field, home of the Pier Governors. Steve Steele, head coach, CEO, the driving force behind the Boys and Girls Club of the capital area. We got some great things going on over there in left center field. See the big blue building. That's the Boys and Girls Club of the capital area, proud sponsor here of our DRG Media Group coverage of the Zap on River 92.7. That one misses inside, ball one. And we look forward to having Steve Steele on the broadcast here coming up this summer. 1-1 pitch from Hollowell, fouled back our direction, just a little bit high to get inside the broadcast booth. Told you folks, we only had one or two that really scared the booth last year. The one that came right to me, my partner in 2025, Dylan Beach, actually had to step out for a moment. It was the only time he left the broadcast booth all summer long. And of course, it was the one time I actually made the play on the foul ball. The 1-2 will miss low, even up the count at 2-2. But I made that play, got a nice little cheer from the crowd. It was certainly the highlight of my summer. Hollowell comes set, the 2-2 to Carter. Just a bit inside, count runs full. Just a gorgeous day here in Pier. Perfect Friday night weather. We had a couple clouds that were just nice accent pieces behind our blue sky earlier. Those are all gone, and this one slapped down the right field line, and that is just going to sneak fair. Rounding first and heading for second is Brody Carter. He's going to chug for third. Throw coming in from Landon Meyer, going to be cut off at second. And Brody Carter with a stand-up triple with one out. And he could not have fit that in the right field line any better. Yeah, you know, he just kind of reached out, slapped it, and he was able to just barely float it over the top of Quinn Ludvigsen, and there's a lot of room. That's where the Zap bullpen is, down the right field line. And Brody Carter, already a fast runner with room to work with. It's not surprising he got to third. That'll bring up Elijah Reeves. Reeves has got some wheels, we know that. He takes an off-speed pitch for a ball. Oh, this inning started so promisingly for Pierce Hollowell. Got a first pitch out on a grounder to third. Then he got ahead of Brody Carter as Zap will bring the infield in. Everybody on the infield skirt. This one high and away for ball two. And you don't want to walk Reeves here. You put a fast runner on first, force your middle infield to drop back. He's not really a candidate to get thrown out stealing with as quick as he is. So we'll see if Hollowell can fight back in this at bat. 2-0 count. That one finds the strike zone. Good off-speed pitch for Hollowell. Zap wanting to protect this lead, got the infield in. 4-run advantage for the home team here in the top of the fifth. And the pitch swung on and missed, high fastball. And Reeves couldn't catch up to it. This feels like a big pitch. 2-2 count, one out. You get this strikeout, you can drop everybody back, play your normal depth, and maybe dodge a bullet. Spuds runner 90 feet away. Hollowell set and delivers. This one popped up on the middle infield. Who wants it? Quinn Ludvigsen finally calling off Glenn Gledhill and makes the out about midway between home plate and first base. That was maybe a moment where Jamie Habiger felt his stomach pit a little bit. You had Quinn Ludvigsen, Pierce Hollowell, and Garen Gledhill for a brief moment, all looking right at each other and not the pop fly. But the infield vet, Quinn Ludvigsen, finally took over, came in, made the play, and now he's got two outs, and he's a ground ball away, but this one is going to line into center field. He couldn't let me get the sentence out, was Caden Wilcox. His second hit of the ball game drives in the third run for the Spuds. Well, what I was going to say before that first pitch single from Caden Wilcox was maybe you could get a ground ball and get out of this thing, but Caden Wilcox was having none of what I was offering, and he dishes it into center field for a softly hit single. And the Spuds have cut it to a 3-run deficit. So now Cal Cousins will step in. This first pitch fastball, barely missing outside, says Bill Hall. I'd say this, though, for Pierce Hollowell. Besides that Stone Cipher homer, everything's been relatively softly hit. Wilcox did put a good charge into that double in the first inning, as this swing was a little bit lazy from Cal Cousins. I think he was hoping and wishing he had pulled the bat back there, as that one just dove out of the zone. Yeah, Cousins kind of peeking his head away as that bat was crossing the plate, thinking, man, I wish I had not offered at this one. Faking the steal, but staying at first was Caden Wilcox, as this off-speed pitch misses down and away. Cousins not offering that time. It would be a little bit more convincing on the fake steal if Wilcox was more than a step and a half off the first base bag. They throw over to check on him, and he kind of fell on top of first. He didn't have room to slide. Short primary lead over there for Caden Wilcox. Now he extends it. Hollowell peeking over his right shoulder with his right eye, now delivers. This one's back our direction. Gonna scurry some fans here on the lower mezzanine and right into the lap. One of our first responders appreciator fans. I don't know if I said that right, but either way, came right into his, not into his plate of nachos, but near it, and he opted to protect the walking bag of nachos and let the younger fans scurry for that foul ball. He didn't want his walking taco walking off anywhere. They'll check on Wilcox again over at first. He's back standing. 2-2 count, 2 outs, 6-3 Zap lead here in the top of the 5th. All 3 runs have come in the last 2 frames for the Spuds. Zap have scattered around 6 runs. Just 1/2 inning scoreless. Wilcox will take second base, but he'll have to come back because this one's fouled over the Zap dugout. That was a dangerous pitch there from Hollowell, and as he got the ball back from Gledhill, who got it from Bill Hall, he was tapping his chest saying, I know I might have missed my spot there, won't happen again. So we'll see what Hollowell has here on the 2-2 pitch for Cousins. Off speed, got him out in front, swing and a miss. And the Spuds can only score 1. It was a triple for the Casper Spuds. Brody Carter, he would score on a Caden Wilcox single, but that was all the damage done by the Casper Spuds in the top of the 5th. Zap still comfortably out in front 6-3 with the bats coming up, and it looks like Jacob McMahon will come back out for the Spuds in the bottom half of the 5th. Well, we talked about the June theme nights. What's coming up in July? No shocker here. July 3rd and 4th for the Oahe Zap are red, white, and blue nights. Of course, America celebrating 250 this year. That'll be a great night. And, you know, Chuck Cortana and I are not the only ones in the broadcast booth here tonight. We've got Darth Vader and a stormtrooper standing next to me, and some really lifelike characters, too. I was thinking about letting Cortana turn the camera around to show these 2 guys, but we'll just let your imaginations run wild. They stand about as tall as my nephew, maybe about 4.5 feet tall. But they've got Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper here for Star Wars vs. Star Trek night on July 5th. And July 6th will be game show night. I expect to see some Steve Harvey impersonators out here in your brightest and loudest suits on July 6th for game show night. MLB night will be coming July 10th. Christmas in July will be July 12th. Oahe Capitals night will be July 13th. Capitals got some good news about an Ice Barn expansion coming up here in the next couple of months. Elvis night, July 14th. Big one on July 15th. Healthcare Workers Appreciation Night. We'll see Yellowstone night on July 20th. Support your local sports team night on the 21st. Women's Wednesday again on the 22nd. And Zapper Stars night on July 23rd. Quinn Ludvigsen will lead us off here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. That'll be 5, 6, 7 due up. Quinn Ludvigsen, Garen Gledhill, and Dom DiCarlo. Ludvigsen will clear some dirt in that left-handed batter's box. Ludvigsen assumes the position. Jacob McMahon back out there for the bottom half of the fifth. As we mentioned, fires a first pitch ball. And again, Chuck, they're shading over on that first base line, trying to protect an extra base hit from Ludvigsen. This one will be popped into center. Reeves, who was shading him towards left, will be called off by Bufford. And Bufford, who loses the hat, doesn't lose the ball, and he squeezes the first out. So that'll bring up Garen Gledhill. He's behind the plate, giving Ty Farwell a night off. Gledhill, a guy who didn't get to see much time in 2025 due to injury. Seems like the injury bug got to the Zap a little bit last year. Just an all-around great teammate, says his counterparts, as this one's grounded over top of the bag. It's fumbled by Denton at first. I think Gledhill just couldn't believe that that ball stayed fair. He chopped it towards his right foot as a left-handed hitter, and it just tiptoed down the line, took a Spuds hop over the bag right into the hand of Denton. As I mentioned, he had a little trouble fielding it at first, but Gledhill, who wasn't charging out of the box, because I do think he thought that one was going to steer foul, gave Denton all kinds of time, and now quickly 2 outs here for Dom DiCarlo. This guy is lightning in a bottle. Small frame, but just kind of an energizer bunny. Jittery guys, I like to call him. Always got some part of the body moving as McMahon cautiously approaches and misses outside for ball one. First stirring in the bullpen for both sides of this ball game. Both the Spuds and the Zap have somebody up and moving around as DiCarlo charges one to the left side. Backhand diving stop by Wilcox. Up and firing, but not in time. Tip your cap on the glove work there for Caden Wilcox, but like I said, it's got to be as routine gets to get out the speedy DiCarlo. So he'll reach on an infield hit, and that'll bring up Landon Meyer. Well, we know that the Zap have had some 2-out magic. It was a Ty Farwell 2-run homer in the bottom of the fourth. We'll see if maybe Meyer can deliver some more 2-out magic. Myers had a good game today. Dropped in a base hit earlier. And one of the innings, the Zaps saw some production. He jumps out of the way of a first pitch fastball. Lights have been flicked on as the shadows start to creep across the first base line here at Hyde Stadium. It's going to be a while before the whole field is covered up in shadow. As this one is ripped down the right field line, that one is turning but foul as it gets to the pole. They have been wearing that part of the ballpark out all evening long. Great swing. Just couldn't keep it fair. He was sitting fastball, turned on it a little quick. Yeah, you could tell that was the pitch he was looking for, and he got it. Just couldn't time it up. A good crack from the Zap right fielder. He's behind. Now 1-2 as that fastball catches the outside corner. Big props to that fan down there in the blue River 92.7 DRG Media Group sponsored shirt. That guy is getting his name mentioned today, and who knows, maybe we'll send him down to Zap Summer Shandy. This one misses outside. Count evens up at 2 apiece. Landon Meyer using all of that left-handed batter's box. His foot is planted on that back line. 2-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Zap leave one stranded. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Zap still out in front, 6-3 here on River 92.7. We'll be back after this break.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're looking for a podcast that is sports and only sports, then come on into Cowart's Corner. We tackle all the big storylines going on in the world of sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, softball, hockey, whatever it is. If it's sports, we cover it. So if you're looking to unwind and have a good time, come into Cowart's Corner with me and my dog Charlie on drgnews.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range, beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
New pitcher for the Zap, it's left-hander Brady Glenn, as Pierce Hollowell is done for the day. Great outing from Pierce Hollowell. He gives up 3 runs on 4 hits, including a 2-run homer to Stone Sight for the catcher for the Spuds. It was a Brody Carter triple that was driven in by Caden Wilcox for the 3rd run of the ball game for the Spuds, but all in all, great outing there from Pierce Hollowell, and now we get to see another guy that we know very well, Brady Glenn. Got to talk to him before the game. Kind of caught me off guard. I was in the midst of my pregame prep, and I heard my name called from behind it. I turn around, and it's the smiling face of Brady Glenn, 5th-year senior and a fixture here for the Oahe Zap. He's come to the right place in Pierre. I think I know why he likes to stick around for so long here in the South Dakota State Capitol. His off-field activities are bowling and lifting, and you can do a heck of a lot of both here in Pierre. He's a fixture for the Zap, fixture over at Lariat Lanes. And I'll ask Cortana this, as she was talking to the Avera physician before the ball game. They were talking movies and films. Brady Glenn's favorite movie is Remember the Titans. Have you seen that one, Cortana, or is that too far before your time? She has, and she approves. And I agree with Brady Glenn. That is certainly up there on my list. He'll start with a low pitch to open up his outing, as we've got a little bit of movement in the lineup here. No, never mind. For the Casper Spuds, I apologize. Hunter Billingsley up, as he'll take the second pitch and the second ball from Brady Glenn. Glenn does his pitching at Simpson University. And unfortunately and sadly enough, I think this is the last eligible year for Brady Glenn in a Zap uni. But he will start his outing with an out, as Don DiCarlo camps under a softly hit fly ball out in the center. Squeezes it and grabs it. And I know we don't have the scoreboard up, or the Zap don't have the scoreboard up on their stream. It's 6-3, 1 out here, and I'll continue to try to pepper you with the score so you don't get lost in the shuffle. 1 run in the first, 3 in the second for the Oahe Zap. They'd score again in the 4th. 2 times to make it 6-3. As we mentioned, 2 runs coming in the 4th, 1 in the 5th for the Spuds, as Glenn delivers a first pitch foul ball off the right foot of Stone Cipher. 2 of those 3 runs for Casper, as we have mentioned, came from a Hunter Stone Cipher 2-run shot out to right field. The last 2 runs for the Zap also coming from a 2-run bomb off the bat of designated hitter tonight, Ty Farwell. Glenn with the extra, I don't even know the right word for it. His delivery is something to be seen. And this is not meant in a slight at all to Brady Glenn. And I don't think he would take it as such. It's almost a convulsion. It's as if he just kind of channels all his energy and then lets it out as he throws. Another foul ball off the foot of Stone Cipher. This will careen up towards Brady Glenn. He'll just pick up the ball, walk back to the mound. He says, this one works just fine. He's ahead 0-2 in the count, 1 out. Zap leading 6-3 as we get to our final third of this ball game. That is, as Darren Boyles from Darren Boyles Sales would say, in regulation. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Brady Glenn pulled the string, and he gets his first strike out of the game, second out of the inning. Great pitch there from Glenn. Perfectly timed too. He kind of threw him some fastballs. Stone Cipher was able to foul him off, set him up for that off speed.
3 runs on 4 hits for the Spuds. This will bring up David Denton. And Denton puts a charge into one a mile high out to left. Connor Goldberg started tracking back. I'm not shocked he did. But he makes the U-turn, comes in, and makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. Brady Glenn getting comfortable quickly out there on the mound in relief for the Zap. No hits, no runs, nobody left. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back after a word from our great sponsors here on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com.
These days, people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. That's why DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG mobile app provide local news, sports and weather, music and entertainment news, area high school athletic events, and more. But as members of your community, we want to hear from you too. Are you not hearing what you want to hear? Do you have an event coming up that you need advertised? Then let us know by using the Contact Us feature on the drgnews.com website or on the DRG News app. You can send us a song request, a news or sports item, a request for advertising information, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our DRG Media Group radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app. Thanks to our advertisers, it's all available to you for free. drgnews.com and the DRG News app are updated throughout the day, so check back often.
McMahon back on the mound for the Casper Spuds, who are trailing 6-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hello, everybody. Justin Coward alongside Chuck Young and Cortana Mancuso on a picture-perfect Friday night at Hyde Stadium. Hundreds of fans here in attendance enjoying this beautiful night with us, and we're thrilled to have you with us on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com. If you're just joining us, the Zap took a 4-0 lead with a run in the first and 3 in the second, after Connor Goldberg drove in a run with a single in the bottom of the first. Mason Melton on a fielder's choice scored a run after Landon Meyer drove one in the bottom of the second. The Spuds would get on the board with a Hunter Stonesight for 2-run homer. Follow that up with a Ty Farwell 2-run shot, and then 1 run scored off of a Brody Carter triple driven in by Caden Wilcox, which gets us to 6-3. And the Zap back up in the bottom of the 6th, and we start with a first pitch ball. 9-1-2 due as Cy Taylor digs in the right-handed batter's box. McMahon missing up and in for ball 2. Now, I told you that there was movement in both bullpens last inning. They're still getting an arm loose down in the left field bullpen for the Spuds here in the bottom of the 6th. As McMahon continues to work, and a strike is called on an off-speed pitch. And you got to understand the kind of predicament Cody McCreary is in. While he does have a deep roster, they have got a long stretch of ball games playing every single day from June 2nd to June 19th. As this one misses down and away. 3-1 is the count. So the message from McCreary in this long stretch in the dog days of summer is we need length out of our starters, as this one's off the thin of the bat. Over towards short, on the move, firing and making the play is Caden Wilcox. And Cy Taylor is retired. And I think he will tip the cap to his shortstop counterpart, Caden Wilcox. Tough play to make with a fast Cy Taylor burning down the line. Yeah, Wilcox showed off some good glove work there and a good arm, firing it across the diamond on the move. Not an easy play, but he was able to make it look routine. But what we were saying was the long stretch, McCreary's got to get length and innings out of his starters. And though he has given up 6 runs on 9 hits, McMahon has done just that. He's gotten into the later parts of this ball game, and his bullpen and his manager and assistant coaches sure appreciate that. First pitch is high to Mason Melton. And that one will be in there for a called strike. For those of you that are trying to get your baseball fix ahead of the scheduled 7:15 start time for the Minnesota Twins, swung on, foul tip into the mitt for
Mason Melton. That'll be strike 2. Count as 1-2. They have, again, been delayed, but they do have a start time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time on KGFX tonight. And our program director sent me that news, and I got to tell you, as great of a guy as he is, anytime I'm on a broadcast, as this one misses inside for ball 2, anytime I see his name pop up on the chat box or the text box, my heart skips a beat, because normally that means something is gone wrong technically. But not the case, just filling me in. As this one misses down and away, and the count is run full. Nobody on, 1 out. Near bottom of the 6th inning. 6-3 Zap leading. Gavin Frazier in the on-deck circle, wanting to get another crack, which he will with only 1 out. This one is belted. Deep left center field. On his horse is Cal Cousins, and calling him off was Elijah Reeves. And Reeves makes the grab, coming all the way over from his center field position. He had to cover about twice as much ground as Cal Cousins did. And as we've said all night, Reeves is speedy, and he was able to get to that one first. So Frazier, as we mentioned, was going to bat regardless, but nobody on and 2 outs now. We'll see if the Zap can, again, fire up some 2-out magic. The guy that did it is waiting on deck. See if Frazier, who has now faced 5 straight balls, can get on base again. Deductive reasoning would have you believe, and let you know that he walked on 4 pitches his last at bat. That's when Ty Farwell went deep. Frazier again taking this one outside, ball 2. And man, if we were in Texas or Florida State, they'd be chanting ball 6. And Jacob McMahon, here's the 2-0, make it 3-0. That'd be ball 7. And for those of you that don't know, with Super Regionals coming up in college baseball here this weekend starting today, that is one of the things that these raucous crowds will do when a pitcher gets on a ball streak and he finally fires a strike, which would have quieted that crowd down. They'll start chanting however many balls in a row that pitcher has thrown. Now, credit to McMahon, he was able to retire the out. He has fallen again behind to Gavin Frazier. Now Frazier pops one out to right. Bufford going back now, coming on, is under it. And that'll bring it in to the 6th inning. Zap, leave him empty. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head to the top of the 7th inning. 6-3, Zap lead.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades. Bush Hog tillage equipment, including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, the private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Well, Brady Glenn's outing was certainly quick enough. He got in, got 3 outs against 3 hitters, and now it's time for A.J. Ponciano to take the mound for the Oahe Zap here in the top half of the 7th inning. Zap leading 6-3. Justin Cowart alongside Chuck Young and Cortana Mancuso here in the booth with you on this perfect Friday night. So Brady Glenn relieved Pierce Hollowell, and now Ponciano, another returning guy for the Zap, continues to fire strikes in his warm-up pitches. And one of the most exciting but as equally infuriating in-inning games here for the Zap faithful is the bucket toss. Both of these contestants now with the gold ball trying to toss it towards a green bucket about 25 yards away, and nothing against these 2 guys, but those 2 tosses weren't even close. Now the rule is with the bucket toss, once you get to the gold ball, is you can toss it in the bucket, but the bucket has to stay standing. We learned that the hard way last year. Someone did land it in the bucket. It was the only time we saw the gold ball actually get in that green bucket all year long. But the bucket tipped over, and they did not win the grand prize. Which makes you wonder, is the game even winnable? Top of the 7th inning here as the Spuds will lead off with Noah Bufford. And he'll take a first pitch ball on the outside corner from Ponciano. Bufford got the right back pocket sticking out, and a big swing and a miss. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. It's like those arcade games that you play when you go up to a bowling alley or something. You just get so infuriated. Can you even win at this thing? That's the question I have about the bucket toss. Check swing, couldn't hold up. Bufford behind 1-2. Ponciano putting that off-speed pitch to work. But you know, it's not about the winning. It's the fact that everybody has a good time, and everybody seems to be having quite a bit of fun here at Hyde Stadium on this cloudless Friday evening. Temp starting to cool down as the sun starts to set. 1-2 pitch is lifted into left, curling towards it, and making the play is Connor Goldberg for out number 1. That one was well struck by Bufford, but it hung up just enough for Connor Goldberg to take a roundabout route to get it. This will bring up Mason Westmoreland, Spuds' designated hitter today. The bullpen session has come to an end for the Spuds down in left field, so we imagine we'll see a new hurler for Casper in the bottom of the 7th. After we stretch, of course, first pitch down and away to Westmoreland for ball 1. But you know who comes in to relieve? Jacob McMahon, if that is the case. This one popped up the left field line, curling towards foul ground. Underneath it, Goldberg, he lost it in the sun. That was hit about a mile high down the left field line. And Goldberg ended up overrunning it. There's not much breeze to mess with these pop-ups today. But Goldberg unable to get a beat on that one. And the way that Hyde Stadium's set up, sun sets off to our backs as we overlook the diamond from the first base line. So it creates quite an issue for the left side of the field, especially defenders out in the left, as that foul ball will make it 2-1, and now 3-1 as this one misses down and in. They correct that. Looks as if it's 2-1 on the count here. Ponciano delivers a breaking ball in there for strike 2, and now we're even at 2 apiece. But especially this time of night, any ball that's kind of lifted above a line drive trajectory, you're going to have issues with the sun. Check swing, did he go? They check down to first, he did not. Garen Gledhill was sure ready to sell it as he jumped out from behind home plate. I think that's still Gledhill back there catching balls and strikes. Looks like a new catcher in, but we can't see his number because of the chest protector strap covering it up. Let you know who's back behind the plate here this inning for the Zap. This one popped up the elevator shaft, but going to turn and curl into foul territory. I'm sure we'll figure it out sooner or later. Looks like maybe Augie Goethals has assumed the catching position. That would make sense. This one slapped down the right field line, curling. That's going to get down in fair territory. Rounding first and heading for second is Westmoreland. He's going to forget about second and head to third. Finally coming in was the relay. And in sliding safely with a 2-strike triple was Mason Westmoreland. Second triple into that part of the ballpark here tonight. And now A.J. Ponciano will have a little bit of traffic to deal with here in the top of the 7th. 1 out, 6-3. Zap out in front, but the Spuds threatening here in the 7th inning. Brody Carter, who was the last Spud to triple, sends and serves one out into center. Charging on, diving, and unable to make the catches down to Carlo. He was playing Carter in, but still couldn't get to it in time. Valiant effort, but he comes up empty, and the Spuds have cut it to a 2-run deficit. So the Westmoreland triple
turns into a run after the Brody Carter single, and it's 6-4. And the Spuds still with runners on, well, a runner on here in the 7th inning with just the one out. Ponciano will check over to first base on Carter. He dives back in a heap and is in safely. You know that you're going to see a lot of runs in ILB baseball, a lot of talented hitters. This one outside, bobbling was Goethals, and that one is going to be a bit off the target. Covering was Gavin Frazier, throws a bit behind him, and Brody Carter's in safely. Now runner on second with one out. Ponciano comes set, takes a peek back at second, and delivers the pitch. This one just missing on the inside corner, makes it 2-0. So things starting to tighten up here in the 7th inning. This one outside, and Ponciano is behind 3-0. So Ponciano trying to settle in here after giving up the triple, then the base hit. Zap still out in front, but the Casper Spuds aren't going down without a fight. See if Ponciano can get back in this 3-0 count. Right-hander sets and delivers, and this one catches a piece for strike one. Yeah, and as good as this relief corps and bullpen is for the Zap, you'd love to get some insurance runs, try to pad this thing up a little bit, take some of that stress off your relievers. 3-1 pitch from Ponciano, misses down and away, and now the Spuds have 2 on with 1 out. Elijah Reeves will take his base, and we're back to the top of the order and a dangerous hitter in Caden Wilcox. And now the infield's going to come in, and they're going to go out and have a chat with Ponciano. Great reminder, you know, we started talking about Steve Steele and the Boys and Girls Club of the capital area. We've got our Stanley County Gold Program Marathon Day of Golf coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to do it out at no other place than Dunes Golf in Fort Pierre. Steve Steele, myself, and a couple other brave souls are going to endure 108 holes of golf all in one day. We did it last year. It was certainly fun, yet demanding. And we can't wait to do it again this year. Boys and Girls Club of the capital area, always doing great things for this Fort Pierre community. Headed up by Steve Steele. And we see a couple Governor's Athletics shirts in the Zap crowd today. Steve Steele, the legendary, and I think he cemented that word in front of his name, head football coach of the Govs. Took him to yet another state title again this season. Won yet another with the Govs. Here's the first pitch in there for strike one to Wilcox. Good off-speed pitch from Caden Wilcox, to Caden Wilcox from Ponciano. Crosses the zone for strike one. Feels like another important bat in this ball game. This one, Caden Wilcox. Here's the 0-1. Chopped right towards Ponciano. He'll fake to second and fire to first. Wanted to try to get the double play. Didn't even take a peek over to third. It's a big second out of this inning. Both runners advanced 90 feet. So now they're at second and third. But 2 outs for Ponciano. And he'll see if he can retire Cal Cousins to get out of this monumental jam. With 2 outs, a base hit will tie this ball game at 6. But we'll see if Ponciano can avoid it and get his bats back to the plate. Ponciano sets and delivers. This one grounded sharply to third. Beautiful block. Firing over to first is Melton, and Ponciano steers from disaster.
The Spuds do score one after a triple and a base hit, but they leave them stranded at second and third, and they only bring one across. Zap still out in front, 6-4. It's time to stretch here at Hyde Stadium. They'll sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," maybe even Cotton Eye Joe. We'll be back with the Zap coming to the plate here after this on River 92.7.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Bottom of the seventh inning here at Hyde Stadium. Zap out in front, 6-4, and A.J. Ponciano able to get him out of a massive jam there in the top half of the seventh. Spuds did bring one across, but they leave two stranded at second and third. And the day is done for Jacob McMahon as the Spuds go to the bullpen for the first time today, and they will bring out another reliever that's not really listed as a reliever, which is something you see very often in the ILB. It is utility man out of Hawking College, Ryan Devereaux. And I believe it's the way it's spelled, Deveraux. I'm going to guess it's Devereaux. And that's just what we're going to roll with. And if we got any Spuds fans watching the stream, well, feel free to correct me on the pronunciation. Ty Farwell had the Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight. Rounds Financial Services, where your money works for you. It was a 2-run home run in the bottom of the fourth inning that extended the lead then back to 4 for the Zap. 2 more runs have been added by the Spuds. That gets us to 6-4 here in the seventh. See if Farwell can add some more insurance. And Devereaux misses down and away for ball 1. Shadow is fully crept across the mound on the infield as Farwell watches a fastball in for strike 1. Left-hander Devereaux comes set. And this one just missing outside for ball 2. And that's one thing that Ty Farwell, if he can work ahead in the count, he can be dangerous at the plate. Props to that one fan for yelling charge on the play over the PA. Farwell fouls this one off into the caging back behind home plate, and now we're even at 2 apiece. Farwell steps into the left-handed batter's box. 1 for 3 today with the 2-run bomb. 2-2 count. Devereaux delivers. This one ripped down the right field line, but that one curves foul and scares a group of fans that are about to run the bases here at the break. That was close. They're huddled behind the fencing that opens up where the shell for BP sits. They don't seem to be too scared by it. They've got their Zap flags back up. Farwell takes a close one on the outside corner, and the count runs full. Farwell, Goldberg, and Ludvigsen due up here in the 7th. Devereaux delivers. And Farwell works himself a walk. That pitch, a fastball, misses down and away. Just couldn't get the outside corner
And the Zap have the leadoff hitter on for the first time in a long time. I think it goes back to the second or third inning when the Zap were able to get the leadoff hitter out on the base paths. Connor Goldberg will step up. Planted right in the middle of that right-handed batter's box. Devereaux, the lefty, able to stare over at Farwell, offers him a second look. First pitch, fastball up and in. Goldberg moves the hands out of the way for ball one. Casper Spuds will be here the next 2 days, and then they'll be playing a lot of baseball, as we've mentioned, over the next couple of weeks. I do not envy that schedule for Casper here in the month of June. 1-0, misses outside, and turns 2-0. They've got a busy couple of weeks, and it all started on June 2nd. Farwell with a modest lead over at first.